Joining us here on the Rich Eisen Show is the head coach of the Kansas City Chiefs, Super Bowl winning head coach, Andy Reid. Andy, I'm seeing on TV. You were just on Colin's show. You're like speed dating right now. It seems like.
Yeah. Well, listen. If I'm speed dating, I'm not picking you two, Doug. But I appreciate you blowing your own dress up there. I got you.
It's okay.
Right.
Do you need a minute? Because I feel like you're just answering all these questions. You need a sec? You want to just get something to drink? You're good?
No, I'm fine.
Okay.
Fire away, man.
Okay. The time's mine? The time is mine right now?
Time's yours. Absolutely.
Thank you. Greatly appreciated. Great to see you. Congratulations.
Likewise.
I have not spoken with you since the whole enchilada was won a second time. When you hear that you're a back-to-back Super Bowl winning head coach, how does that hit you, Andy?
Yeah, listen, I'm Rich. I'm so proud of our guys. I mean, that's what I'm proud of.
Sure.
When at the end of the game, that's what you think about, and you go, man, this was a joint effort of everybody pulling together. We had some highs and lows, and we battled through it. And it's kind of a surreal feeling when you're done. You're just going, my goodness, think of all the different turns that took place during the year to get yourself to that podium there. And it's a great accomplishment, but listen, about a week later, you're off it because the season goes so long. And now you're back into the next year, and you have to jump on the personnel, free agency, the draft, your scheme evaluation, all that stuff.
Is that what you told Chris Jones when you jumped on top of him? Is that what you said to him?
No, I wanted to see if he could take the weight.
What went through your mind when you see Chris Jones on the ground and the confetti's coming down? What happened there?
Well, I'll tell you the whole story behind that was Chris Jones pushed himself past the point where I think he thought he could push himself. And I was so proud of him for that. When we went into overtime, he was exhausted, and he had just worked so hard during the game and had a lot of snaps. But he took himself to that next level. And he was on the sideline at the time, and he was bent over. And I said, hey, you got a minute 52 seconds. I mean, let's go. You can do it for a minute 52 seconds. You need to get out there. And he did. He dashed out there. This is a seasoned veteran guy. He dashed out there and went after it and had a huge third down play for us. So I saw him bend over or in a catcher's position, actually in the end zone where I was going to do the media part of it. And so I pushed him over and jumped on his chest. And I didn't break his shoestrings, which was amazing. But listen, I was so happy for him. He's a guy that's been here a long time. I'm close to the kid. And I was so proud of him for doing that, just taking it and kind of reaching in there, Rich, into that no man's area there that you hate going to, but you got to do it in professional sports. And he went there.
So again, from my perspective, things happen so fast, obviously from your perspective as well. But Chris Jones, was he out of the game with on that second down, or you're saying that third down where he blew up Brock Purdy in overtime?
No, he went back in. No, he went back in. He came out for a quick blow.
Okay.
And went back. But we were talking on the sideline, so it was just he was exhausted. He was tired.
So so you're like, hey, we need you, and then he provides that third down moment where he was basically in Brock Purdy's lap before Purdy set.
Right. Yes, exactly.
Wow. I'd jump on him too.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the way to celebrate. No doubt.
He would have much rather had you jump on him than me.
Well, I saw you needed Ted Cruz to help you up, Andy. I saw that. You got to get off.
Yeah,
I saw that.
I didn't want to hurt him. Personal pronouns. I was right on top of him. I didn't want to hurt him.
I love it. So in terms of the here and now, what can you share about Chris Jones and what's going on with him? Obviously, you want him back. So what can you share?
Yeah, well, probably not a whole lot. I mean, we would love to have him back. Brett Veach and his gang are working through that. Chris Shea works with our cap, and so and does a contract. So they're all working through this thing, and but we've had great communication. So we'll just see. We'll see where it goes from here.
Okay, because he tweeted out today, Andy. I know you're not on the old machine there, on the phone machine, of you on top of him celebrating, and then he just wrote KC with 6 dots. How do you interpret that?
Well, that can be taken a couple different ways. Be on top of them, and then, but I like the dots.
Yeah, meaning that more to come. Is that what you mean? Is that what you're saying?
Well, I'm hoping. Right? I can't give you anything because I don't have a whole lot. I'm doing all these media things, so maybe something's going better than I think it is.
Okay, very good. Thank you, Andy Reid here on the Rich Eisen Show. And so this game with the 49ers, when it went into overtime, did you think that when you lost the toss that you would be receiving the football? Did you think that?
No, but I understand why they made that choice. I mean, first of all, I'm a big Kyle Shanahan fan, and I know how smart he is. So he just didn't pull this out of his pocket and say, we're going to do this. That's not how he rolls. And so I knew that could go either way. I was happy that it went the way that we would choose. And but that's not saying that his was wrong by any means.
Okay. Andy Reid here on the Rich Eisen Show. A couple minutes left with the head coach of the two-time Super Bowl champion Kansas City Chiefs. You said as soon as this thing was over next week, you're right into the next season. Was there any thought in your mind of not doing this anymore, Andy, and retiring?
No, not really. I joke to people about it, but it's the truth. My parents retired, so I remember asking my mom and dad, what made you retire now? I mean, and they just said, you're going to know when that time is. You'll just know. Now I'm 17 years old, and they're telling me this, or 18 years old, where I was there, and so I was big enough to understand that they were stepping out of something that they loved to do. Excuse me. So I was just curious, and that's what they told me. So I mentioned when I was asked that the 60th time that that I'll know the time. Today's not the day. So that was my answer to it. And you know how the questions are at the Super Bowl. You do that media night, and Bill's not coach anymore, and Pete's not coach anymore. So I'm the next oldest guy. So I'm getting asked that question every 5 minutes. And I just that's not where I'm at right now. I don't feel that way, that I need to retire right now.
I guess Mahomes helps keep you young, right?
Yeah, he and the other guys.
I'm sure.
One thing that, you know how this goes. One thing that happens is, and we have these mirrors, and you look in the mirror and you're getting older, and the guys all stay the same because of the changeover. They're all between that 22 or 21 and 30-year-old age normally. So they just shuffle in and out as they go, and you're growing older. So but I don't feel as bad as I look there, Rich.
I'm not saying that. What I'm saying, though, and I didn't mean to put you in a position where, it sounds like if you talk about Mahomes that he's the only guy that keeps you young on the team and makes you excited about the team. I don't mean to put you in that position. Obviously, I mention him because this is a quarterback-driven league, and every coach is looking for their Mahomes. Every franchise is looking for their Mahomes. And you have your Mahomes, and not just at any point in time, at the ascendancy of what appears to be one of the greatest quarterback runs we've ever seen, and he's still young, right? And so that's why I would never think, as long as you want to keep doing this, why would you step away, Andy?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, sure. A reason could be 12 and a half grandkids. I got one on the way here, so
right.
That could be a reason, but that's not. The kids are enjoying what I'm doing, so that becomes important. But listen, Pat Mahomes is phenomenal, and I think we all know that. I get to deal with him every day, and he is as great as whatever he seems to the outside world. That's what he is every day, and the kid wants to be great every day, and he challenges people around him to be great every day, and he works his tail off. First one in, last one out. Spends time at night when he goes home, before he goes to bed, studying. And for young people, that are playing this game and want to achieve at it. He's a great example that, okay, he's got God-given ability, but he maximizes it every day and wants you as a coach to give him one more thing for him to even be greater than he already is.
And then he does strike me as one of those remarkable athletes that responds so successfully to the words "you can't," right? And this was a year where I'm sure he heard that more than ever, going on the road in the playoffs for the first time. And obviously there were some issues with dropping footballs, and you can't, and we can't, and you writ large cannot. I assume that will come into play when the concept of winning 3 in a row happens. What is your plan on getting this team to focus, lock in, and accomplish what no one else has done? What an opportunity for a head coach to have in front of him. I'm wondering how you're going to handle that, Andy Reid.
Yeah, so, Rich, you've known me a long time, so I don't really care about the end result there. I care about making sure that we get ourselves ready to go and maximize ourselves in preparation. And that's what's real. I can't predict what's going to happen at the end of the year, but our guys know you better be ready when you come to training camp. You better be in shape, and if you're not, it's painful, and so and it's tough to get through it even when you are in shape. But it builds a great foundation for you, and then let's maximize every day after that to work to get better within reason. We try to be smart with that, and then you've got to do that now for 17. We just came off a 21-game season. Yeah. So you've got to make sure that you present yourself properly every game, and that takes a lot of time and effort, and you can't skip over that. That's the important stuff. That's what you can control, not predicting that we're going to win 3 in a row and all of this stuff. That's not where I go. That's easily said. It's very hard to do. It's hard to win a game in this league. And there's some brilliant people out there and great players, best in the world, 32 best head coaches in the world, 32 best offensive and defensive coordinators, 32 best right tackles and left tackles, and so on, and the best in the world. So, and this place is pretty big, and you better prepare yourself properly that way.
So you don't prepare. You're not prepared. You're not going to at all utilize the first ever three-peat team in the history of the NFL as a carrot on the end of the 2024 Chiefs stick at all?
You know what, Rich? I don't have to do that because you guys do it for me. Right? Well, the guys all know, but they also know what's real. So that's the point I try to get across.
All right. So you're welcome then, Andy. My pleasure. Because we will be talking about that. Before I let you go, Andy Reid, I want to give you the floor on Jason Kelce, if you don't mind, and him and who he is, and you see what he means to Philadelphia, where you obviously once coached. I'd love to give you the floor on him and your recollections.
Yeah, well, sure. I would say this, Rich. I think the National Football League will miss him, although he's going to keep doing the podcast, I'm sure. Yes. So we'll at least be able to stay in tune. But he's such a positive person and influences people in that way, which is maybe his greatest gift. As great a football player he is, he's a great person. So and a great leader. Whatever he goes into, he's going to also strive to be the best there. That's just how he's wired. And I love the kid, and I know he's going to do great. He's a great dad, great husband, has fun in life. But when it's time to crank, he'll whatever business he's in, he'll crank, and you better be ready because he's going to bring it with you and try to be the best he can be.
Yeah, I just love everything about him. Did you hear he had his trainer who wasn't able to tape his ankles up because he's overcoming cancer? Last time.
We had actually hired Joe when I was there. He's a young buck. I did hear about it. Yeah. What a great thing that is.
I mean, he's remarkable. Andy, I truly appreciate the time here, and I have to go home to my 3 children. So You got a good Taylor Swift story for me? They would want to know, when was the last time you spoke to Taylor? They want to know everything about Taylor Swift. Andy, what can you, as Andy Reid, tell me, please?
Listen, you can tell the kids that she's a great girl, and they've got a great relationship. But for your kids,
yes, sir,
she makes a mean Pop-Tart, homemade Pop-Tart. So as good a singer as she is an entertainer,
yes,
she's also a really good cook. So she just doesn't share it with me. She shares it with all the linemen. And I'm telling her, you got to give a little to the coach.
Sure, but you mean like she makes her own Pop-Tart? Like what do you mean?
Well, that's she's smart now. So she took care of those offensive linemen first, and she made them homemade Pop-Tarts, and they go, hey, Taylor Swift, she owns the world now. So she's in. She's in.
Of course, the filling had to be red, right? Chiefs red. That's the filling from the Pop-Tart.
I'm sure she doesn't miss much, so I'm sure it probably was.
Okay. Did Colin ask about Taylor Swift? Did he ask about? Am I the first one today, Andy? Am I the first one?
You're the first. You're the first one.
All right. So I can write that's an exclusive then. It's a Rich Eisen Show exclusive. That's what you're saying.
There you go. There you go.
See, you give me that, and I give you the ability to not have to mention a three-peat because I'll do it all the time for you.
I appreciate you. You deserve a raise. I'll be your agent.
You're the best, Andy Reid. Thank you for the time. Greatly appreciate it, sir.
All right, Rich.
You be well.
Take care.
You got it. That's Andy Reid. Catch the Rich Eisen Show every single day on the Roku channel, 12 to 3 Eastern, for free.